Tom, you're a pastor in Amsterdam. Can you tell me, how did you get involved in human trafficking?
Well, I've been involved in human trafficking since January 1980 when I was in Africa, back in Nigeria, as a missionary from Ghana to Nigeria. There were a lot of African women in the sub-region who were working as prostitutes in Nigeria, and that is why I started my work as a trafficking agent.
You work predominantly in Amsterdam. In your opinion, is the Justice Department and the Police Department doing enough to combat trafficking?
Well, let me correct a point there. I don't work only predominantly in Amsterdam. I work well across Europe and also in Africa. But talking about the Justice Department, I must say that Netherlands is well ahead of many European countries in terms of combating trafficking in persons for prostitution. Having said that, though, I must say that the effort is far less than scratching the surface of the problem.
Could you elaborate on that?
Well, what I mean by that is that it's just like trying to dry, the sea with a spoon. It doesn't work. The issue is very huge, and the policies as it's working at the moment is just scratching the surface. We need to get to the fundamental causes of the trafficking. We need to get to the fundamental interplay issues that are involved in the trafficking. It is only then when we get there that we can solve it. Otherwise, you rescue just about 5-10 girls in a month, but then you got 500 coming. So that is not a solution.
Can you tell us something about the victims that you deal with? Who are they? Where do they come from?
Yes.
And what are their experiences?
Well, they come from all over the world. Initially, when I started, I was dealing with the victims mostly from Africa, but now they are from every part of the world, and the experiences are the same. They are all sex slaves. They are slaves, not like slaves. They are slaves, and you know what cruelty they face as victims, of human trafficking. So what I'm seeing right now is much more horrifying than what used to be the situation 5 years ago. And what do I mean by that? 5 years ago, when they used to stand in the mirror working for their madams and their pimps, at least they had some freedom. But now what is happening is that because of the police action, the madams and the pimps are now kind of kidnapping them, locking them indoors, and bringing customers, 15 people, 20 people a day, and they don't go outside, they don't see outside, the windows are closed, the doors are closed, and they are abused even in the time of their period. And I'm telling you practical issues that I'm dealing with right now.
What do you do to help them? What does Christian Aid and Resources Foundation do to help these women?
Well, thank you very much. Right from the very beginning, we knew that you cannot kind of scratch the surface of the problem and think you'll solve it. The first question they ask me when I talk to them is that we want to come out. Who wants to be a slave? Not even a dog wants to be a slave. And so they all want their freedom. It's fundamental human instinct to desire for your freedom. But then they ask you, what am I going to stay? Who is going to protect me? And am I going to be safe from my madam and pimp? And this is the answer that we provide. We rented 9 apartments like this, as you see in my house, 9 apartments. And then, so they have a place to stay. Secondly, we have a number of projects, training skill development project, i.e. hairdressing, computer studies, and African food making, and whatever skills that they have, we help them to develop that. And so we use our mission houses both as residence and also training centers. And with this, they become extremely, very productive and very happy. Many of them are married, have weddings, have children, and my greatest joy is holding the child unto the Lord and blessing them in the name of the Lord or doing the wedding. God can transform a broken life into a flourishing, beautiful life.
Tom, what can we do? What can I do? What can my neighbor do? Most importantly, what can the churches in Holland do to help in the fight against human trafficking?
Well, human trafficking is a global problem, and the issue at stake here is it's like, the 19th, 15th century slave trade, where societies came together to fight against it. There is a need to our community, our society, our churches now to rise up to fight and abolish this modern slave trade, just like the Americans and the other good-natured people fought and succeeded in the 15th century. And so what I think individuals can do, what churches can do, what society can do, what you and I should do is that, one, there must be advocacy. We must all become advocates of this injustice, this evil. Then we must campaign, within our community, within our political circles, within our local government circles, to publicize, to expose this dark evil that is happening right in our city centers. Secondly, the victims need to be protected. They need to be protected by society. We, in our small way, without any funding from any governmental organization, only by my church, we run 9 mission houses where we run training programs like hairdressing, like computer schools, and sewing. And so these people are given some kind of skill training, skill development, which enables them to live a sustainable, decent life. And that's what I think society and individuals can do if they want to help.
We hebben het weer gehoord. Er is voldoende te doen en daarbij hebben we u nodig. Ondersteun Jubilee Campaign en word actief in haar actie tegen mensenhandel. Dankjewel.